Now, I want to say a few things that I think when we talk about the importance of an election, again, this is not the message yet. I think that, right, okay, so I think it's really important that as believers that we're really clear, and I think that by and large our church is pretty clear. But we need to understand and recognize evil when it exists among us. And we have diabolical evil taking over in our country. And literally, this is our chance, we the people, to rise up and reassert ourselves and take our country back. And we need to see that happen all over the country. And when I say that, don't you dare vote for a Democrat. Yeah, listen, I'll say it clear. I'll say it plain. I'll say it clear. And here's why. I don't know a single Democrat out there that's for life. You show me one. And you know what? They're advocating for abortion all the way up to the birth canal. And they are doing it lockstep, rank and file. And to me, that is diabolical evil. How dare anyone vote for these people? So anyway, I'll just tell you, you say, well, how can you say that as a pastor? Who do you think you are? It's called standing for life and morality and Christian values. What was Bonhoeffer doing when he exposed Nazism and the diabolical evil and what they were doing to the Jews and all this? I mean, Bonhoeffer stood out and he said it plainly. Of course, in the end, he was executed at a young age. So if I get executed, I'm not that young. So fortunately, we're not at that place. But I want you to understand, we've got to get our heads clear, and we've got to be able to articulate this to people around us. And there are a lot of other issues. All I did was talk about life and morality and decency. And really, we just, as a country, have got to come back to common sense. What in the world have these leftist leaders in Democrat-run cities, what have they been doing? Undermining the rule of law, allowing people to burn our cities down without any repercussions, without any enforcement of the law whatsoever. What on earth are we thinking? So yes, those cities need to be taken back, and they need to come back to common sense rule of law. The open borders are bringing in crime in waves like you can't even comprehend. The fentanyl deaths, breaking the law. We have an administration overtly breaking the law and causing havoc along the Texas border, Arizona border, California border. It's shameful what's happening. It's embarrassing. And so I can go on, but then there's the Marxist philosophy underneath it all, the leftist philosophy that wants to literally, listen, the bigger the government gets, the less freedom we have. You understand that? And they want big, gigantic government. And then all this ridiculous spending. How many stimulus checks did you get? And hey, you know, both parties were a part of that racket. But I don't believe in it. So I just... And then we have, what are they doing to our children? Why were they rising up in the streets 2 years ago and with hatred for America, trying to rewrite American history, critical race theory, sexualizing our children? What is the deal with the drag queen things? I'm sitting there going, this is beyond comprehension, but you realize all of this stuff is a leftist agenda to create anarchy and havoc among our people. And that's why I say it's time for us, and I'm sitting there saying this to 100 people, but hopefully this is happening all over America. It's time for us to take it back. Amen. Say enough. It's time for the adults to come back and be in charge. So influence a few other people. They can have my voting slate if they want. Yeah, school board elections actually matter. City council, county commissioners, we learned when we found out all these little Napoleon judges all over the country that began to shutting down cities and shutting down churches and threatening arrest of pastors, and because they simply want to meet as the body of Christ. It's all part of this leftist agenda. We need to reject it outright and fully. The defund the police movement. I'm telling you, when I heard that the first time, and I heard some of those rallies back in 2020 by the Marxist protesters, and I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, they want to defund the police? Are they out of their minds? And you know who's suffering the most from that? The poor communities, the minority communities, They're the ones suffering the most from the defund the police movement. But Black Lives Matter. You see the hypocrisy? So we need to stop all of this and bring back common sense. So anyway, there's my speech as we're approaching the election. And I believe that at this moment, and if you're here and you're struggling with what I'm saying, you're like coming into this church setting and go, I have never heard a pastor in my lifetime ever speak frankly like that. I mean, you know what? We need to start seeing it more often, and we need to see a uprising of pastors who have some backbone. Because I'll tell you, the pastors willing to speak up is our greatest hope in America. If we don't speak up, then it's lost. It's time. I just stirring in my heart, I just want to make it real clear as a matter of record that this pastor stands right here and believes this, and this is where we're going. And if you're out there and you're going, gosh, you know, my family's always voted Democrat, well, it's time to end that.